Okay, so welcome everyone. Thanks for joining this session. We're here today to talk about LGBT Olim and the services we provide, and what we can do for you and make your aliyah process as simple as possible, or your integration into Israel as simple as possible. One second, let me just get my notes. So my name is Roy Freeman, as you can probably see from the participants list. I'm the founder of LGBT Olim. I made Aliyah back in, hold on a second, why is that on there? I made Aliyah back in 2012 and I started LGBT Olim in 2013, mostly because I realized that if you weren't completely fluent in Ivrit, then it was pretty difficult to find your way within the LGBT community. And so being a person that isn't wonderful with languages, barely speak English sometimes. I thought it'd be better, or it would be great to have a community where English is the first language, and so people can meet and build their social network without having to be fluent in Hebrew first of all. And so we started with running social events in Tel Aviv, and then we expanded to Jerusalem and Haifa and Beersheba. And then when the pandemic hit in 2020, we started doing events online because obviously at that point in time there wasn't any opportunities for us to actually meet up in person. Okay, and since the pandemic, we've continued with those online events as well. Okay, so um, we've built I think a wonderful community, even if I say so myself. It's a great place to meet people. We have members from all over the world, and we obviously welcome Israelis as well. All they have to do is be LGBT and speak English, and that's basically the only limitations that we have. So just to give you an understanding of what we do. First of all, yeah, as I mentioned, the LGBT English speakers groups. So we run a number of events every month. We have a schedule that we publish at the end of each month for the next month. And that includes events like weekly movie nights. We do karaoke in Tel Aviv once a month. We have a brunch once a month in Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. We try to do restaurant nights from time to time as well. Did I mention karaoke? In Tel Aviv. We also have restaurant nights in Haifa, coffee mornings in Jerusalem, and we also run brunches in, no, I just said that, in Jerusalem, and we also have games nights in Beersheba. Usually those are twice a month. Okay, so obviously, if you're in one of those cities or close to one of those cities, you're more than welcome to join us. And we also, as I said, run online events. So the people that aren't, local can join in. And again, we have members, obviously, within Israel that live outside of the main four cities. Some of you are present here today. And so, for them, for people who can't travel quite so easily or get to those in-person events, we run these online events as well. So the weekly movies, for example, that I just mentioned, those are actually hybrid events. So some people come round in person and watch the movie together on the big screen, and some people join via Zoom, and we share the movie on there as well. And the quality is pretty good. I'm quite surprised how well movies share on Zoom. So we get to talk about the movie afterwards, and decide whether we liked it or not. What we thought of it. And every week there is a poll so we can choose from a list of 5 movies to watch each week. We cycle between gay/bi movies one week, lesbian/bi movies the next week, and trans/, non-binary movies the third week. And we just cycle between those just so that we all get a fair go at the movies and get to see something that interests us. Okay, so the event today here is really aimed and has been advertised to people that have already made Aliyah, so within maybe their first few months or first year or two of making Aliyah. But of course, there are people here also that are in the process of making Aliyah, or maybe even just considering making Aliyah. Obviously, the online events are available to people that are still living overseas. And so you can join us as long as you have a pretty decent internet connection, then there's no problem joining the movies. every week or whenever you want. We also run online coffee mornings once a month, and we also do an online Shabbat dinner, okay, once a month, which is basically, Friday evening. It's like the coffee mornings, except there's food involved. We can talk about what we're eating. We can show each other what we're eating. We can compare recipes or whatever. But again, they're just opportunities to connect and to meet the community as well, to feel connected to the community, whether you're already in Israel and have already made Aliyah, or whether this is something that you're planning to do in the near future. Okay, so those are the English speakers events. If you want to see more about those English speakers events, let me just put into the chat window. Hold on a second. There is a link here. If you go to, I've just bought myself a new keyboard, so I'm for some reason struggling with that. So if you give that link a click, that will take you to a page on our website that shows you the current schedule. Okay, so there's a nice calendar view at the top. In fact, I can show this to you here. Let me just click on share. There we go. So hopefully you should all be able to see my share. So literally I've gone to lgbtolim.org/lowercase e, and that will redirect to here. Okay. And this will give you information about the English speakers groups. And if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see our calendar schedule for September. And underneath here, there are links to the Facebook events. Okay. So if you're interested in going to one of these events, if you're on Facebook, that's great. You can just click on the link, click on going on the event on Facebook, and then we'll be in touch a day or two before the event, to either let you know the address, to give you the Zoom link if it's an online event, and whatever information that you need. We can provide you with maps and so on. Oh, did I mention the Shabbat dinners that we have in Tel Aviv as well, and also occasionally in Haifa? So again, if you click on one of those, we'll be in touch to discuss the menu, and everyone brings their own dish and so on. Hold on, we have a question there. Hold on. Yes. Can you unmute yourself? Yes, you have.
Yep. Hi.
David, hello.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You too.
Not sure if you'll get to this, but I wanted to ask about your upcoming Rosh Hashanah meals.
Yes. That's a good question. So we do have something planned. That's wow, in a couple of weeks already. So in terms of Rosh Hashanah, you have a few options. Okay, in Tel Aviv, the municipality and the LGBTQ center in Tel Aviv organizes a large communal Rosh Hashanah dinner, which is normally outside the front of the LGBTQ center, which is in Gan Meir, Meir Park. So you can register there. If you're interested in that, I can send you the link where you can register. Okay. In addition to that, there is also a smaller LGBT English speakers Shabbat dinner, which is at a member's home. If the weather's nice, we'll be on the roof. And so that'll be a potluck dinner. So everyone brings a dish and a drink, and we can all eat together. For people that are in Beersheba, one of our members has very kindly opened up their home for first night Rosh Hashanah and lunches on the first day and second day. That's not a potluck because the host keeps a kosher home and wants to provide the food themselves. There's a charge of, I think, 20 shekels per person for that one, and you can register with any one or any of those three, the evening meal or the two lunches. So that's Beersheba. Okay, we don't currently have. There is a Shabbat Rosh Hashanah dinner at the Haifa LGBT Communities House. That's on the Friday before Rosh Hashanah. Where's that here? Actually, we haven't listed that here, but it's up here in the schedule. 18:30 on Friday the 19th. So if you're interested in that, I can send you the link to register for that. And again, they'll be in touch to discuss meal. All right. Oh, hold on a second. Just letting somebody in. So does that answer your question, David? Yeah. All right. So like I said, this is the web page where we share all of our events. Like I said, there are links underneath. All of these rectangles are links to the Facebook events. So you can click going there. If you're not on Facebook, you can email us and tell us which events you plan to attend. And you can also send us a message on WhatsApp. Okay. So again, it's worth pointing out that for the LGBT English speakers groups that we have in Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Haifa, and Beersheba, We have a Facebook group for each of those. We have a WhatsApp group for each of those, and we have an email list as well. So whichever your preference is, whether it's Facebook, Messenger, or WhatsApp or email, you can let us know that you want to attend an event and we'll be in touch. Okay. So I can provide you with links to join those later on. So that's that web page. Okay. Wonderful. So if you'd like to, the general email address that we have, if you want to RSVP for events, you can just email us at info@lgbtolim.org, and you can tell us what you're interested in, which events you're interested in, and we can get back to you that way. Let me just clear that. There we go. So that's the LGBT English speakers groups. One of the other things that we do at LGBT Olim is is Kulpan. So that is Q Ulpan, as in a queer Ulpan. So Ulpan is the Hebrew term. I mean, literally it means studio, but it's the term that is used for the Hebrew classes that you get for free for a few months when you make Aliyah. Um, Kulpan isn't a full Ulpan, okay? So obviously when you make Aliyah, you can join and get I think it's 5 months of free lessons, Hebrew lessons, in wherever you're living. You know, you talk to your local Misrada Klita, that's the ministry that welcomes you when you first make Aliyah, and they will give you information about the Ulpans that are available. Kulpan itself is like, as it kind of implies, is a queer Ulpan. It's an Ulpan for LGBTQ people. It's really should be considered as a supplemental, okay, a supplementary to your Ulpan. So the idea is that we currently have lessons twice a week online, once or twice a week online for an hour each. And we also have in-person classes in Tel Aviv, okay? Hoping to get classes started in Jerusalem as well. But again, each of these classes are an hour long. They are led by volunteers, okay? Some of them Israeli, some of them are Olim. They're all LGBTQ. And it gives us the opportunity to learn Hebrew in an environment where we can feel safe and bring up whatever topics, you know, we wouldn't feel comfortable talking about a regular Ulpan. Okay, so, you know, when it comes around to June, we often are talking about the Pride marches around the year, sorry, for the month. And we talk about, you know, LGBT related topics. So it's a nice, safe environment for learning the language. Okay, so again, if you want to learn more information or get more information about that, let me just put a link into the chat window, lgbtolim.org. Oops, can't type. Okay, never use a new keyboard when doing a Zoom. Okay, so lgbtolim.org/q. As you can see, I like short addresses. So that will take you to another page on our website. So let me just share that for you. Where's the share button gone? There we go. And we'll go there and click on there. All right, so if you go to lgbtolim.org/q, that will take you to here, okay, the Kulpan page. Okay, and again, if you scroll down, here we can see the schedule, okay? And underneath that, you can see, again, links to the Facebook events for each of these classes. So if you're on Facebook, you can click on each of those, click going, and we will send you the address if you want to come in person for the Tel Aviv classes, or we'll send you the Zoom link for the online classes. Again, all of those are done via Zoom. We do have a separate link for every event, every class, just for security purposes. You know, in the early days of Zoom during the pandemic, there were stories about people getting into Zooms and causing havoc. So, you know, just to be on the safe side, we just have a separate link and it gets sent to you whenever you click going. All right. We are going to be taking a break for Rosh Hashanah. In fact, for all of the Chagim. So as you can see here, tonight we have a class. Okay, that is going to be an online class, what we refer to as our convo classes. So we have two different levels of online classes. We've got Corpan Online Intro, which is more introductory and more vocab led and more, you know, frontal led by the instructor, whereas the online convo classes are more conversational, more interactive, and so, you know, for the slightly more advanced Hebrew speaker. Okay, so I should also mention everything, as you may have noticed already, is color coded. So anything on this schedule with a yellow background is online. Anything in red is in Tel Aviv. And if I go back to the English speakers, you can see here that everything in green is in Haifa. Anything in blue is in Jerusalem. And our hybrid movie nights are kind of a mix between red and yellow, whatever. Okay. We also sometimes include third-party events here. So, for example, there was a gay movie at the Jerusalem Cinematheque back at the start of September. We have a couple of movies, not we, there's an organization called TLV Fest, which is the Tel Aviv LGBTQ film organization or film festival. They normally screen a couple of movies every month. And there's also a 10-day long film festival, which is in October. Okay. Hello, yes. Please unmute yourself. Yeah. Is it Gabby or Gabe? Okay. Hello, yes.
Hi, sorry, can you hear me?
No worries. Yeah, we can.
It's Gabe or Gabriel, either is fine.
Okay.
I appreciate you having the meeting. I was just curious, I have not made Aliyah yet. It's something I'm
Okay.
considering. Can we join the online Kolpan classes before making Aliyah?
Absolutely. Yes. So we have a number of people that join from overseas, from the UK and the US mainly, but yeah, absolutely.
Wonderful.
So, I mean, we kind of do limit the overseas participants to people that are in the process or are considering
Hmm.
making Aliyah. We don't just want anyone joining,
Sure.
but so absolutely you can join. So yeah, just click going on the Facebook event or message me, and I can send you the appropriate links.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Stuff. So as I was saying, yeah, so everything is color coded. So the lighter colors on this schedule are generally third-party events, and I normally include the logo there so you can see what they are. For example, here we have an event. Oh yes, the Beersheba Pride House is having a toast for Rosh Hashanah a few days before, so that's on Wednesday the 17th. So there's the logo of the Pride House, if you can see that there. All right. Also, once a month, the Israeli AIDS Task Force have a get together in Tel Aviv. It's a cafe meetup called Cafe Plus. And so it's not specifically for English speakers, but again, a lot of the people that go do speak English. So, anyone that's living with HIV is welcome to go along to those once a month. And again, I can put you in touch with the organizers for that as well. All right, so I was talking about Cool. So there we have the schedule, the links underneath. And again, everything is color coded. We try and make it as clear as possible, which events are where and how you interact with them. So again, everything that's Zoom or online has the Zoom icon there as well. All right, let me just stop that share. So that is Cool. Again, we're hoping to expand further. Oh yeah, sorry, Gabe, I just saw your question in the chat window. And as well as the English speakers groups and Cool, we also provide information for people that have made Aliyah and for people that are in the process of making Aliyah as well. So if you have any concerns, LGBT related concerns, if you're not comfortable talking to your Aliyah advisor about them, you're more than welcome to ask us, and obviously we will do the best to provide answers there wherever possible. Okay, so there's a lot of misinformation out there. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people that don't think they can make Aliyah because they are LGBT. There are people that think they can't make Aliyah because they're HIV positive, for example. These are myths. If you're Jewish enough, according to the Israeli law of return, then you can apply for Aliyah and you can make Aliyah. Okay, sexuality and gender identity don't come into it, and you're treated the same as everyone else. Okay. Oh, that's a good question, Jessica. There are, okay, and we do have a Facebook group for, actually, what is that? Yes, sorry, let me think about that. We've got a group for LGBT parents. We don't have events specifically at the moment, but we obviously can do. We do have events that are completely, child friendly as well. Some of our events aren't, for example, our Sukkot party, there's alcohol present, so it's not necessarily appropriate. But, for picnics that we have during the day, absolutely. We do have events. And again, there are many organizations within Israel that do schedule events for LGBT parents as well. And that also leads me on to another thing that LGBT Olim does, as well as providing information pre or post Aliyah, LGBT related information. No, completely lost my. Oh yes, we also help connect people with other organizations. Okay, so there are a lot of organizations that are LGBT specific. For example, there's Tehillah, which is like the Israeli P flag, parents and friends of lesbians and gays. So if there are people who are, having issues with their parents coming to terms with their coming out, Tehillah is a great place to turn to. Okay, and again, they have English speaking resources there as well, limited, but they do. And there are organizations like Ma'avarim that is the trans community in Israel. There's also the Trans Center in Tel Aviv. It's a very vibrant community here. So one of the things we do is connect people with other organizations and help find English speakers within those organizations to get the services they need. Sorry, just there's a question here as well. How do I find out more about English speaking doctors? That's a very good question. So just reading the rest of your question there in the chat window. So you'll find that most doctors in Israel will speak English. Okay, so when you make Aliyah, one of the first things that will happen on your arrival is they will ask you to choose which Kupat Holim you want to join. There's 4 of them. The 2 largest ones are Maccabi and Clalit. Yeah, absolutely, David. Yeah, I'll come to that in a second as well. So when it comes to choosing your kupa, it's worth considering, first of all, where you're living. Maccabi and Clalit are pretty much nationwide. The others, Me'uchedet, and I've forgotten the Me'uchedet, and I can't remember the other one. Anyway, they are generally smaller and focused in certain parts of the country. Okay, so when it comes to Clalit and Maccabi, they are very LGBT friendly. Okay, if you do somehow manage to come across a doctor that is not LGBTQ friendly, you can basically put in a complaint, and you have the right to change doctor at any time. You can change your family doctor. If you don't like the one you're with, you can move to another one. Both Clalit and Maccabi have LGBT clinics in Tel Aviv, and I believe in Haifa as well. Okay, so if you want to make sure that you're going to an LGBT friendly doctor, you can choose to go to one of those clinics, and you'll know that you're in a safe space. But most doctors are going to be LGBTQ friendly. One thing I would recommend is, if you are on medication and you're planning to make Aliyah, please make Aliyah with a couple of months worth of medication, because it does take a little bit of time to get things started here. So again, one of the first things you should do once you've chosen your health provider is register with a family doctor. Again, look at one of these LGBT clinics if you wish, and then of course make an appointment with that doctor and talk to them about the medication that you're on. Find out whether it's, again, you can find out before you make Aliyah whether your medication is available in Israel. If it's not, you can find out what alternatives are available. And you can organize to see a specialist if needed, and you can start getting your prescriptions here in Israel. So come with a couple of months worth of meds, just to tide you over, just to make sure that you have time here before organizing all of that, before getting all of that sorted. So yeah, there are doctors that deal specifically with the trans community as well. So you can ask to see a specialist about that and start talking to them about HRT. 1 second, there was prep services. Yes. Elisheva, let me get to you in a second. So with prep, again, you can talk to your family doctor about that. If they have a problem, they most likely won't, but if they do, again, you can change your doctor. You can go talk to a specialist and again, get yourself the appropriate prep. I would also recommend talking to the AIDS task force in Israel. They will give you advice as to where you can go in order to sort that out as well. They're very useful. Like I said, there's a monthly get together with them. I can put you in touch with their community officer, and you can start a conversation with them as well. Okay, so it's all very structured and straightforward. Okay, Elisheva, did you have a question?
No, just to fill in, the fourth kuppah is leumit, which is
Thank
the
you. That's what I couldn't
smallest,
remember.
and everybody forgets it.
Yeah, exactly. I think most LGBT people I know are either with Clalit or Maccabi. One piece of advice I would give is if you have friends or relatives already in Israel, it's worth asking them which kuppah they are with. Ask them if they like it. You know, some people love them, some people hate them, whatever. Choose accordingly. And if you know people that are already with that kuppah, you know, they can help you find a doctor. They can help you navigate the website. Not all websites are in English. Those that are in English don't have all of the services available in English. So it's always handy to have someone who's with the same kuppah to help you through that process. Okay. You know, when you phone them up, there's going to be a menu system that you have to go through. Having somewhere that knows that menu system or can help you get through it, you know, it'll make life easier for you. All right. So yeah, it's worth knowing someone who's already in that kuppah. Elisheva, yes.
I would just add that even if your doctor or the doctors you wind up seeing are not labeled as LGBT friendly, my wife and I both found that the reaction of every single doctor we ever saw, and there were a lot of them, when they want to know who am I to her, and I say I'm her wife, it's like the most boring thing they've ever heard. It's just fine. Nobody has a problem with it. And I've really found that pretty much everywhere. It's nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a bit of a non-event in that respect. Yeah. So like I said, you know, pre and post Aliyah, we provide information. Oh, sorry, Jess, can't figure out how to. Okay. Yep, absolutely. No problem with that. Healthcare, so the just the two kupat of LGBT Olim. Yeah, so the names of those two kupats are Klalit and Maccabi. Okay. And they do have doctors. Actually, Elisheva will know this. We were at Haifa Pride a couple of weeks ago. We had a stall there, you know, obviously advertising, looking for new members. And right next to us was Klalit. And one of the doctors from their Haifa branch was there as well. She's great. So yes, I would recommend, you know, I go to the LGBT clinic in Tel Aviv, and they're great. Okay, you know, again, there's multiple doctors there. You can choose one that you get on with, and you know, get what you need. Okay. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. So we talked about pre-aliyah questions, post-aliyah questions. Again, you know, the main gist of LGBT Olim is to give you a softer landing when you make aliyah, so that you can meet people, build a social network with people without first having to be fluent in Hebrew. Again, through that network, you can you know, networking is always a good thing. You might be able to find work that way. You can you know, get people's advice on, you know, all puns and places to eat and that kind of stuff, whatever. And we have regular events where you can meet up with people. Yeah, so for those of you that are already here, again, we've got a lot of events coming up over the next couple of weeks. There's karaoke this Saturday night. What else is there? We've got an online coffee morning this Friday morning. We have a trivia quiz night in Haifa tomorrow night. That's Thursday. And so there's generally always something going on in at least one of the cities. Okay. So does anyone else have any questions about LGBT Olim, any of our services? Any questions specifically about your Aliyah? Or yeah, David, hello.
Is there like besides the LGBT Center and the AIDS task force, is there like a hub or a physical center in Tel Aviv for LGBT Olim, or is it more like organic on people's homes?
Yeah, it's it's very much organic. We're very much a grassroots organization. We're not officially, you know, we're not an NGO or anything official like that. We're just a community. And so we run events wherever we can. So a lot of our events are in people's homes. You know, we have picnics in parks. We have Shabbat dinners in people's homes. We have brunches in cafes. You know, so it's very much wherever we can.
And
Okay,
if
so
I would like to host one day down the road, how do I do that?
sorry, if you want to what?
If I would like to host an event like down the
Oh,
road one day, how do I
more than
do
happy
that?
to. Yeah, no, you can
Okay,
just
great.
get in touch and let us know, and yeah, we can work it out. Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Good stuff. No worries. Jessica, hello.
Hi, do you ever do like tefillah groups or any kind of like anything organized around shul or like prayers?
That's a good question. To be honest, a lot of members that come to our groups are more secular. I mean, we obviously do have religious people as well. If you're looking for something a bit more religious, I would strongly recommend talking to Bat Kol, which is the organization for Orthodox, lesbian, bi, and transgender women. So they have regular events, and again, there's always there's generally a communal dinner for the major chagim as well. So yeah, that's not necessarily something we do, but again, we can connect you with people that are. Oh, speaking of which, there is a group in Jerusalem called Shabbat Shalach, and they get together for Shabbat dinners once a month. I haven't been in touch with them for a while, but I believe that's still going. So again, these are all people that we can connect you with and to find out what you need. Okay.
Yeah, I also saw your list in your website of like welcoming or LGBTQ friendly synagogues, so that could also
Yes,
be helpful.
absolutely. That's a good, yeah. So let me just bring up the website again. Um, there's that. There we go. Okay, so hopefully you can see the website. So up here under LGBT resources, there's a drop-down menu, and right at the bottom for some reason, we've got LGBT friendly synagogues. So if you click on there, it'll take you to a page. Okay, that hasn't loaded properly. Why is that not loading properly? That's great, isn't it? Anyway, so you've got links at the top here. Okay, it looks like I need to fix that. We've got links at the top here. There we go, it's loading slowly. For the main cities as well, and they take you to the right to the appropriate section within the web page. And so you can see here a list. We've got contact details, information about what type of synagogue they are, what services they run, and so on. And we've got contact details for their websites and their Facebook groups and so on. Okay, so there's a number of LGBT friendly synagogues in Tel Aviv. And in Jerusalem, there's a couple as well. There we go, scrolling down. Also in Haifa, there's one I actually need to add here. So there's Kehilat Or Chadash and Kehilat Ochel Avraham in Haifa, etc. And we also got a couple down in Beersheba as well. All right, so yeah, all that information is there. Again, we consider the website to be live. So if anyone has any LGBT friendly resources that you'd like to be added, then feel free to send that information to us, and we can add that to the website. Okay, I'm trying to think what else is on the website as well here. So there's English speakers groups and Colpun. We've also got a page to give you some idea as to places that you can live. Okay, so we've got the various areas within the country: north, south, center, Tel Aviv, etc. And further down, we've got links to these places and also information that was sourced from the Aguda, that's the LGBT lobby group, if you like, for in Israel. They do a survey every year of a variety of municipalities, cities and towns, and basically assess how LGBT friendly each of those towns and cities is. Okay, so we've included that information here, plus a little bit of information from people that live in those cities as well. And you can navigate around. You can go to Jerusalem here. There we go. Whoops. Okay. And we've got information about Jerusalem and the center, Bet Shemesh, etc. Okay, and then all the different areas of the country and places where you might decide to live. Again, a lot of people decide to live in Tel Aviv. They like the big city. Oops. Other people obviously prefer to live in other cities. Some people prefer to live outside the cities where obviously things are cheaper, a little bit more remote as well, but quieter. It all depends on what kind of life you want to lead. Okay, so there's a lot of useful resources here on the website. Yeah, there's information about HIV testing as well, and PEP and PrEP. Okay, again, places where you can get tested. Fantastic. And also availability of PrEP and PEP if you ever need those, or if you decide to start taking those. Okay. We've also got a link of LGBT centers, a page of those around the country as well. You know, a lot of these are run or funded by the municipalities. You know, the Tel Aviv runs the LGBTQ center. There's a number of organizations that run the trans center in Tel Aviv. They do wonderful work. Jerusalem, I think, is one of the few that I don't think is funded by the city. Obviously, LGBT situation is a little bit more controversial, I guess, in Jerusalem, just because of the mix of the demographics there. The Pride House, Ramat Gan, Haifa, these are all generally run by the municipalities, okay, or at least funded by them as well. So you've got links and maps there to each of those. All right, so there's a lot of very useful information on the website. We plan to start having other languages on here, but currently, everything is focused on English. So we've talked about the English speakers groups. We've talked about Korban. If you want to hear about what we've got coming up, obviously there's the website, lgbtolim.org. We've got the Facebook groups for the English speakers groups and for Korban. We have a Facebook page for LGBT Olim as well. We also have a monthly newsletter that gets published at the end of each month that contains the full schedule of everything we've got, both online and in person across the country. We also, again, try to include third-party events that are welcoming for LGBT English speakers. We also include news whenever there's something relevant to share. And we have an interview with an LGBT oleh or olot each month as well. Someone who's been here for a while, and just to see how they're settling in and any advice they have. So if you'd like to see the current schedule, the current newsletter, so you can go to lgbtolim.org/newsletter. That is updated every month, so it'll always point to the current newsletter, and you can work your way through that. We talked about the website and WhatsApp and so on. So these are great ways to stay in touch and find out what's happening. Okay, David, you have another question? Yeah.
Yes, final question. When I click going on an event on Facebook, if it's in person or if it's a Zoom link, do you send that individually on WhatsApp, or how do I get that link or address?
Yeah. So if you RSVP on Messenger on Facebook, we'll message you with the link or the address on Facebook. If you message us on WhatsApp, we'll reply on WhatsApp. So whichever method you to RSVP, we'll respond with the information. Yeah, so it is an individual message. Yeah. Okay. That's a good question, Olivia. Korban is free. Okay, so pretty much everything we do is free. There are some events that we do charge for if there's an overhead, like some of our parties. For example, Sukkot, we have a big party, a big roof party, a Sukkot party. We normally charge 10 or 20 shekels for that, just to cover our costs. Korban is free. The instructors are all volunteers. They just give up an hour or two once each month to teach one of our classes. They're a great bunch of people. So yeah, the Korban classes are all free. Okay. And they're generally small, generally maximum of 10 people. So, it's as close as you can get to one-on-one training. Thank you very much for your time today. And see you soon.
Lovely.
Cheers.
Thank you so much.
No worries. Thank you very much.